Welcome back to day 2, lesson 2 for Despina Makes a Splash, an ocean engineering story. But let's review a little bit about what we learned yesterday in our story with Despina. What do we know about Despina's physical attributes?
She's in a wheelchair.
She's in a wheelchair. She's disabled. So when she goes in the ocean, she feels free, right? She likes to be exploring in the ocean because it has this liberating feeling for her. Now, we talked about the types of technology she'd be using to get her goggles. Does she know the location of where her goggles are at? Yes, she does know the location. But there's a piece of information, a piece of data that she doesn't have. She knows the location, but she doesn't know. Go ahead, Andy.
The depth.
The depth. She doesn't know how deep it is. Chrysanthi and her are trying to team up. You notice they're being partners. They're trying to team up to design something that can retrieve those goggles. So when we left off in the story, they're in the planning phase, which means they were designing and sketching out their ideas for an ROV or a submersible to get to the goggles, right? So our goals for today is to explain how ocean exploration requires collaboration. We talked about that yesterday a little bit. We're going to use the sounding pole model to map the ocean floor, which we'll do today. And we're going to make a map of a invented ocean floor. So the technology we're going to refer to today is this thing called a sounding pole, okay? Again, you can use a rope with a lead weight on it, or you can use a pole that's marked off in different increments, okay? And this is the device that we'll use because we've made a model for the sea floor, and this is a model of the sounding pole. The actual sounding pole might be 20 feet long, yeah? Okay? So this is a device we're going to use to discover how deep the bottom of the ocean floor is. This device is another model of what the ocean would look like. On the top here, the surface of the ocean, we have a grid. The grid's broken up into 5 rows and 10 columns. Each group is going to have a chance to come up to the box, use their sounding pole, insert it into each segment, and record the depth, okay? So this will be Group A, okay? Your first plot on your graph is A1. So I have a 7 for A1 for depth. My A1 coordinates right here. I'm going to write in 7 with a black marker. So you all have color-coded markers in front of you, okay? Well, let's go across and just do one more plot. Let's go to A3, say. Where did A3 go to? Red. Now, red is my third color up. So I'm going to use a red marker and write a 3 in this block right here. So A3 is 3. So I've done 2 of them for you, okay? Your task is to complete this row. So we're going to record the data for row A. This group will record the data for row B. This group will record the data for row C. Make sure you keep your sound pole vertically up and down. What's the profile starting to look like? Can you see in your mind what the bottom of the ocean floor would look like here so far? So we have it really deep, and then it comes up shallow, shallow, and then drops off again. Correct? Okay, so let's go to A6. Who's going to be the sound pole engineer? Hanley. Hanley, what'd you get there?
7.
A 7. Just push it straight down. There you go. So that's green. Green corresponds to what number? What? 4, right? So green is a 4. Good. Okay. Group A has recorded all their data up on the wall. Okay? If you're in any group other than A, you want to record what they have for their data. So your whole data chart is complete. And do that, please, in color code. I'd need someone from Group B to come up and transpose their data onto the wall. So this group will after Ian's done, you can come up and you can write all your information for row C, okay, in color code. So here's green for you, yeah? You guys don't know it yet, but you're working collaboratively to map out the sea floor. So if we just take it in little rows of sections, it was easy for you to do row A, B, or C, correct? But now we can take all that information and stack it up together and get a really good profile of what the ocean floor would look like. We have another step that we're not done yet with our data. We have to do something with this data to compile a map of the ocean floor. Now, we don't have a underwater recording device. We don't have a camera to see what's going on underwater. So we need to use our numbers to make a pictorial representation of what the ocean floor would look like. So you all have a piece of graph paper in front of you. So to record our data based on the numbers that we have here, we're going to come up with a chart or a graph that looks something like this. Okay? This bar graph represents the depth of the ocean. So if my first number I know my coordinate for A1 was a 7, correct? So if I want to fill in this box for A1, because I had, let's just say A, okay? If I want to do A1, my 7 would just be a straight line down there. What's my second number for A? You got a what? A 3. So what I'd like to do for 3, because I know it's red, I'm going to go here for my second row, okay? I'm going to go all the way up to 3, and I'm going to shade in this whole region. So what can you tell me, can you contrast row 1 with row 2 on here and give me some information? What are we starting to see for the profile of the seafloor? What row represents the deeper part of the ocean? Row 1 or row 2? Or column 1, I should say. Annie. 1. So the pole, right, the sounding pole went down all the way if you got a 7. That represents depth. So this group, you'll do row A. This group will do row B. You guys will do row C. And we want to graph those, and we'll collect them together, and then we'll get a good profile of the ocean floor. Well, let's take a look inside the box and see what row A actually does look like. These boxes are identical. We just have to use this one. So here we have 2 boxes in row A. So you can see the first point where you went down, you had the 7, and then 3, 3, 3, 7, 7, 7, 3, 3, and 3. So the limitations to the sounding pole is that we don't see the nuances in the bottom of the ocean. Okay? So that's a wrap. Let's hear it for today. Good job, you guys. This is the oatmeal that sticks to the students. They're not just learning it for a test. They're applying their information. They're having fun. They're being assessed, but they don't even know it. And we have a 100% participation rate. We don't have one student when we do these programs who sits on the sidelines and isn't interested.